Hi, this is Janko from newtv.com, and I'm here with Victor Ku from Youku.com, the biggest Chinese video site. First of all, Xinyan Kuaila, Happy Chinese New Year.
Happy
And
Chinese New Year.
Tell us a little bit about Youku. What is the site? How does it compare to YouTube? How big is it?
Youku is the leading video website in China, and unlike US-based website, if you have to use a US analogy, it will be probably like 70% media syndication like Hulu and 30% video sharing like YouTube. There are 384 million internet users in China. On a monthly basis, Youku gets just over 200 million unique visitors. On a daily basis, it's about 30 to 35 million. And on average, they spend about an hour a day on our website.
And how does the business side look like? How big is your company?
Sure.
How much revenue do you bring in?
Sure. The company started about 3 years ago. In terms of the website, was officially launched in December of 2006. And then in 2007, we just work on user experience. And starting from 2008, we started our monetization. So over the last 2 years of monetization, we've been able to grow our advertising and sales team. And now we have over 400 advertisers. In 2009, we had over 200 million RMB in revenue and growing at a very nice speed.
How much is that in dollars, just for people who can't do the
It's
math
about
in their head?
28 million US
Okay,
in gross
thank you.
basis. Yes.
And you said 30% is user-generated content, 70% is
That's right.
syndicated. For the user-generated side, I'm interested in why do people upload it on your site versus going to YouTube? What's the difference and what's the approach?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that within China, the history of user-generated content, or video especially, is much shorter. So the quality and the quantity of the user-generated video does not compare to that of YouTube, for example, where you have probably 20 to 30 years of DV history. In China, we're talking about 2-3 years. And as such, video platforms like Youku really have to guide or foster this kind of behavior. And we regularly run contests and competitions actually to guide our user behavior a certain way. For example, we encourage a phenomenon called Youku Paike. Paike is a little bit like social commentary. We believe China is a rapidly changing economy and country with 1.3 billion people. So a lot of interesting events and a lot of interesting people. So instead of maybe like writing a script, we actually encourage users to film what's happening around them. And as such, we've encouraged this kind of behavior for people to upload these kinds of videos on our website. We actually also have daily awards. Every day, actually, for any video actually get featured on our homepage, especially on our headline video. They get a variety from 200 RMB, 500 RMB to 1,000 RMB. So those are also incentives in place to encourage people to upload videos on our website.
Aside from these incentives, is there any kind of revenue sharing to encourage semi-professional production?
I think we need to break down content into 3 big categories. One is professional, which actually constitute the majority of our partnerships, where we actually work with television stations, film studios, music companies. And for example, we would buy China or Hong Kong, Taiwan-based serial drama on a per episode basis. So we actually pay a licensing fee for that. For semi-professional studios, generally it's on a project-to-project basis, and they tend to be funded by product placements, by sponsors, and so forth. So when we plan out a certain campaign, it may be a 30-episode, about 5 to 8 minutes per episode web series, where a beverage company or auto company may decide to be a sponsor. So our partnership with a semi-professional studio would be on a project-to-project basis. And as for user-generated video, it would really be kind of more like an award basis instead of a revenue sharing. So 3 different kinds of content with 3 kind of really incentive allocation schemes.
Now, I've heard that you have started to also do subscriptions on the user side. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. What kind of content do you address for this, and how much people pay, and when do you really see this growing?
Sure. This is just really starting, because most people are used to getting video content on demand on a free basis. But in terms of premium content, especially content that's time sensitive. For example, last year we had different performances. For example, a comedic act where a top comedian actually had an 8-part series on an offline location, where each user pay about 10 RMB per show, which is about $1 something. But if you have to watch the 8-part series, that would be 50 RMB, which would be around $6 to $7. Okay, so that is actually used. They pay based on equivalent service of PayPal here in China called Alipay. And in the future, we are also working with the mobile phone operators where they actually deduct from the mobile phone bill as well.
And another area that you're looking at is live streaming, or that you started to do. What kind of events do you stream in real time?
A couple areas. One is in terms of very important events like the 60th year China's PRC anniversary, or some major competition finals like the American Idol equivalent in China called Supergirl. The other area would be music concerts and major performances where we actually partner with musical acts as well as comedic acts where we actually broadcast these shows online. One extremely, quite interesting example is we worked with Nokia last year to actually put together a fully interactive music concert where a series of music stars actually appear in an offline location, but everybody at home or in the office watching on the web can actually arguably control what's happening. In other words, there are multiple camera angles where users actually pick their own camera angle. Two, after the singer finishes singing, they go to another location where they actually interviewed or chat with the users. Plus, all the users at home can vote, can send flowers, where actually physically someone would deliver a flower to the singer. So everybody actually on the web feel that they're interacting with the concert itself.
That's kind of interesting. One aspect that people always think about when they think about video in China is the copyright issue always comes up, because people, when they think about China, just think about pirated DVDs, and the general idea is that it's like a land without laws, more or less. How does the reality look like on the ground?
Well, at the end of the day, I think there are a lot of different websites, okay? And there have been historically a lot of P2P download services that indeed host a lot of illegal or non-copyrighted content. Video platforms like ourselves, streaming platforms, actually have two professional sources of content mainly. One is actually this partnerships. We actually have major media companies, and those are all copyrighted, of course. Now, on the other hand, there's also a video sharing portion where users actually do upload videos, and some of which do have copyright problems. But what we do is we actively work with the copyright holders, one, to sign copyright arrangements with them, but at the same time also proactively screen out videos that are uncopyrighted. So it is a mixed bag, and that's really the market condition right now. But what we also see right now is that the government is also taking steps to control, especially the P2P download sites. And recently there are a lot of press about some of these download sites being actually shut down by the government. So it is a work in process.
Maybe one last question. If people look at China, maybe startups that are here and they have interesting technology and they think the Chinese market could benefit from it, or maybe people who want to localize content, what are some big lessons that you have to be aware of to even address that market? How is it different than the US market?
Well, I think usually international companies decide to enter the China market in two ways. One is to actually set up operation in China. And if there's any advice I can give, it's probably the same advice I give to some of the major international companies that have entered China, is one of localization and empowerment. It's extremely important to understand the Chinese market is actually quite different and unique to other markets. That's nothing new. But actually being able to adapt to, especially in an industry like internet where things move so quickly, if the local team doesn't have the empowerment to be able to make those decisions, and every time you have to go back to headquarters across the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean to make a decision and then come back, you're bound to lose. You're bound to be uncompetitive. So it's very important to remember as an international company where the domestic home market was so large and substantial and changing at such a rapid speed, to be able to adapt and actually be competitive in such a market, you really need to have people on the ground, as well as those people being able to authorize to make decisions on the fly. Also, in terms of other international players that are looking to come in, but not necessarily set up operations, clearly finding the right partner becomes very, very important. in terms of whether they can bring the complementary skill set or the distribution channel or the regulatory know-how that is required for your business to succeed in the local market. Just as I was describing before, because the market conditions are different, you probably shouldn't do a lot of initial due diligence, understanding the market as well as talking to the key players in the market to identify your right partner.
And you have to have an ability to have people send flowers.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.